Alright everyone, and welcome back to another Cities Skylines II episode. Today I'm going to be building a new cargo dock in Cities Skylines II. Now I should point out, this is a vanilla build because I recorded this about 2 months ago. I've only just got about time to recording it, and the main channel of course does come first. But yeah, I'm going to quickly show you around. So you've got the downtown there, Victoria. This is, and then we got this sort of, I wanted to go for a little bit of a beach vibe. It's not really worked out. The idea was based on Boscombe, which is near Bournemouth. For those of you who don't know, it's based on the south coast of England. We've also got Herm, which is a, got all of this industry. This will have to go because obviously you've got those people in that as well. And then this thing is that train line with the peninsula sort of jolting out into the river. That's designed on how the train goes on the River Itchen in Southampton. So yeah, I did take a little bit of inspiration from there. But yes, I don't know if we're going to be doing anything more personally on this map. But yeah, we have got some high-end issues, of course. But yeah, let's first start by building a cargo harbour. Now as you can see, we've got this train yard down there. We need to reposition this. We're going to get rid of those car parks, and we've got all these industry buildings as well, which yeah, I mean, if I was coming back to this map, which I might still do at some point, but the next part of this will be on a different version of the same map, basically, with mods, because this hasn't got mods, and adding all of those key walls was an absolute nightmare without mods. Yeah, we're going to try and add this cargo thing, but first we need to purchase some new tiles. So there we go. So next up, we're going to flatten this land. The idea that I had for this area was that we'd have the cargo terminal here first, and as the industry gets pushed out of these walls, which you can see in Victoria as well, then this will become a passenger sort of cargo station as well. That was the idea. Again, terrain is always a problem with these default maps as well. I don't have anarchy in this build. Anarchy is so much easier for just plopping some things down and trying to fill about. Again, we're going to need to completely flatten this, which I have actually done. We'll need to do something as well, because the White Council is not going to have a responsibility for this. Instead, it's going to come under the main Victoria Council as well. So we extended that to cover that, and then White will be relocated somewhere else as well. But yeah, that's where we're going to have it. It seems to be also near where the existing, where the existing cargo area is. You can see here we've got those walls. We're going to rename this Broad Avenue. Now, how we're going to get things in here? So I've drawn a road next to it as well. I don't know if that's actually the right thing. As I say, I might be redoing this at some point in our new. So as I say in that, I've also dragged out the train line as well. Yeah, I know it comes back on it. It's facing the wrong way. It's annoying that you can't choose which way the train line comes out the dock as well. But I've seen it in Southampton. It does. I had a look at aerial photography of Southampton docks, because obviously it is the main. For those of you who don't know, Southampton is one of the main docks in the UK. As well, a lot of traffic comes in here. We'll make this. I was fancying doing something with two-way roads, but we'll make it one way. We'll extend that out, and then we'll try and connect this in as a sort of a way out, and that will come into our existing A road connection. You can see just up there as well. That should hopefully then the train line is going to be tricky to elevate over this. Which will be a problem, because obviously we are also building the train line connections in this video, and we're also building the motorway connections, or highway depending where you're from. Yeah, you can see we're also going to put a passenger train station in as well. because was there one there? I can't remember. There was one. I don't think there was one there already. But yeah, that's what we're going to do. No, that was the cargo line that goes to Alderney. We'll be resiting that one in Alderney as well, because Alderney needs expansion as well. So yes, this does happen. Not really in Southampton, because in Southampton, what's happened there is that the train line has pretty much been in the same place. Obviously, we've got the Southampton Terminus station, which is now a nightclub, funny enough. As well, we'll make a nice simple connection into here. We don't want, so that anyone can go both ways. Depending on the title as well, we'll put a roundabout there as well. Big roundabout. That should help any truck traffic coming in as well. As I say, the idea was to put a motorway in, because I did have a load of truck traffic coming in, but for some reason that just disappeared. Like, they were coming into that existing cargo train station was here, serving the city centre as well. I don't know how this is going to work out, because to be honest, I've half forgotten what I did, because I did this such a long time ago. As well, we'll make a connection here as well, so that anybody living in those low rent flats can make an appearance, and then also anyone making, obviously going into the western wharves there, should be able to do that. We also need to set up now a cargo line, and obviously we need to buy tiles for that, which we have got these islands out there. I haven't decided what I'm going to do with those islands. That will be something for a lot further down the line. If you've got any suggestions around this, but yeah, we've got this seaway, and I don't know really. Obviously, you've got some areas where it is a seaway, and Southampton, obviously, you'd have the pilot on board as well. This isn't too bad, it's just a straight line, but as you're going through Southampton Water past Portsmouth, you do need a pilot on board, somebody basically that comes in there. We're going to set up cargo lines that are going in to the two connections we've got as well. I put the upgrades on, so we've got 2 container ports, and then we'll go to another one we need to rename that to something a bit more British, like Brighton, for example, even though Brighton doesn't have a container port on the south coast. And this one could be not Melcombe, Plymouth, again another one place that doesn't have a container port, but there we go. As well, we'll change this colour. It's annoying that, unlike Transport Fever 2, the colours don't change. It doesn't pick a colour. That is annoying as well. So yeah, we'll just rename these so I know where they are. So that one's going to be Victoria to Brighton, and then that one's going to be Victoria to Plymouth, if I can spell Plymouth right. There we go. I don't know if these actually work properly yet as well, because there wasn't. I think there was stuff coming in at the end, but I think I have seen with other creators, that it doesn't quite work properly. But yes, that is both lines set up. That is pretty much it for the cargo harbour. There's not really much we need to do with that. It's set up, it's functioning, but we need to obviously set up the rest of it. Train lines as well. Now, this map doesn't have any outside connections, so we're going to be building our own outside connections, and taking this area of forestry, which in hindsight I should have just removed all of the trees beforehand, and I for some reason as well, this is our existing cargo train terminal. We're going to get rid of that. There's also some warehouses down here. We're going to get rid of all of them as well. The train line that currently runs there is also going to be there as well. We are going to de-zone all of these. No, come on, snap to the roads. There we go. It's going to snap, and we're going to get rid of all of these, which will re-add. I'll re-add industry. Didn't know that. Some of them are warehouses. Obviously, now with Find It is such a good tool. You can it actually specifies which are warehouses. I think I remember rightly. There's also some industry there. I can't remember if I'm going to get rid of that or not. I don't know what's going to happen to that radio mast as well. We'll plonk that there behind our cemetery. Yeah, I have to say that we're in autumn, and the trees look fantastic as well. I will say though that spring, the early parts of spring and winter, like I'd love to see how we got the dead trees as an option. I'd love to just be able to see them in winter, and then obviously they start having little leaves, and then they start having obviously going back to their full leafly. I'd like to see that in Cities Skylines II, but I'm going to be getting rid of all of this because we're going to be building a motorway. This is where our motorway connection is going to be. The post office is actually rammed full as well. Yeah, and then also I've got too many mailboxes, post boxes I should say. We need to have I hope that somebody comes up with a mod that basically allows for red post boxes to be added to the game. That'd be so cool as well. But now we need to think about how we're going to do this as well. Just going to put a single row like that in there, and again that's changed the name of it as well. I see. Okay. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Now we've got this arch, and notice that arched bridge with the arches there. There used to be a bridge on what used to be the A33. It's now gone. Where a bloke there was an arched bridge where it used to have basically a dual carriageway underneath it, obviously going to London from Southampton. And yeah, back in World War II, somebody I'm placing the train station yet again as well. And it seems that that's just renamed to Butler Street as well. Yeah. Annoyingly, with the train stations, this is the annoying thing. There's only one train station. Yeah, I'm hoping that they add some more in the British ports. They should at least add just a terminus train station or a central terminus train station. That's all we really need. Is I don't want to have these connections out. We're going to then rebuild this connection coming out as well. And again, we'll put the top parking fee in there because train station car parking in the UK is some of the most expensive as well. We'll put the shop on there, although my local train station, the shop closed down many years ago, and there's just a little hut now there as well. But yeah, parking is most expensive. I like the fact that it's got some. There's a metro stop available on there as well. And it's only underground. So one of the going to London, anyone knows Richmond train station, you'll know that the tube and the rail are on the same platforms. So yes, we might try and build something custom like that in a future video, but obviously I'm nowhere near that in my other save as well, because where we've got a population of 37,000 here as well, that's got 1,000 at the moment. So yeah, not really in a position for that at the moment. So nevertheless, trying to treat this as a central station. There's not going to be trains going beyond here, I don't think. As well, it'd be very difficult to get trains beyond there. So it would be nice to have a terminus train station, but as I said, we haven't got that at the moment. Now, the question is obviously that this line is going to be shared between cargo and passenger services at this moment in time. So the problem is you can see that is just steep. This is a problem with this. I think that, you know, the maps, the default maps are not that great, to be honest. As I've made too much, I didn't mean to do that as well. So we need to straighten this out, and we are going to elevate this as well. We do see, you know, most of them are either in like a valley or they're elevated in the UK. We don't really have too many elevated ones on the south coast. They're most there is a few stretches, but they are mostly actually sunk in. Most notably on the way into Bournemouth is one of them. Sorry, not Bournemouth, Southampton. Excuse me. If you ever come into Southampton on, you know, on say a tight bend there as well, and we'll have a single line going down here, and I've elevated that so we can get our road going in, and then we'll simple curve that into that line, and that's not going to work because it's only created a retaining wall. So I don't think I have to try this again. Yeah, I'm just trying to not keep that slope too much, and there you can see that we got the pillars there, 3.5% increase, and I'll try and come down. We don't want to come down too much. We're going to try and use a complex curve here. Come on, come out, come on, give me that line. There we go, and tie that back in. I hope that looks okay. And there should be enough space to fit the road underneath that bridge. Yeah, it's a little bit annoying. That didn't work, but nevertheless, going with no mods as well. Now, we are going to try and soften this out because, you know, having such a wall, obviously valleys, you know, as I said, most of the train network is in a dip. Same with motorways. Actually, they are in a little bit of a dip, sort of to protect the noise from the trains as they roll past from the from everyone else. But yeah, the motorway will be going under there. It looks like this train will be going somewhere else. Will it, or are we going to turn? Yeah, no. Yeah, I think we're gonna. Okay, we're gonna make a bridge, and this is going to be our motorway is going to come under, go here. So this is where our motorway is going to start. Technically the first proper motorway, as I say, because technically I've graded the others as A roads, or numbered them as A roads. They're technically just single lane ones, apart from, and then obviously, you know, where the game starts with the motorways, that's when they become 2-lane motorways. But yes, we do of course need to try and get up this hill, which is going to be a problem. So bridging across here, and then it's, you know, are we going to then probably going to have to then try and cut into the landscape from that point onwards, and it's dipping down, of course it is. That is just horrible. That is horrible. We need to get rid of that. Let's put a bit more height. We can start to slope up anyway, because we need that slope up. There, we'll smooth that bit. We can use a bit here, and then again, I'm just going to fast forward this bit because I'm trying to get this to work. There we go, 5.3%. That should be 4% once we leveled it down. So yeah, that is something. You know, it's a nice bridge span, and it also means that the you know, it's not too much for them to climb as well. We'll name that as Victoria Docks as well. We'll reconnect this as well before I forget, with a simple curve going in there. as well, and put in our wider cycling paths as well. We'll do that all the way down there as well. They've got the wide in the middle actually, as well, by the train station. Yeah, something like that. As I say, there's obviously that time to be able to do that, to redevelop the front, the seafront there, but that has not happened yet. As well, and it'll probably be slightly different in the next version of the map I do of this. Now, cutting back to our train line, obviously we now need to get up this hill, which is a problem because this is quite a hilly map. As well, already had to do extensive work down the front because it was just one big huge hill, basically down to sea level. It's very unrealistic in terms of terrain. So yeah, what we're going to do to try and smooth this out, we're going to go smooth this out, try and keep below 5% rise. Obviously the slower, the bigger the rise, the slower everything is, and that is obviously a problem. We can slope up or down. Right click, of course, remember, right click is the shortcut. We'll try and line this up. Come on, give me 180. There we go. As well, we're also going to be putting in our new cargo terminal, putting the 2 tracks in, and a storage thing we're going to do around that back, or we can do that in line as well. We might put a couple of those in, and this is going to be our main cargo hub as well, because this is where we're going to have an internal one here, and then our external ones are going to come from here out to the city. So we don't actually, although we are coming up the hill, we're actually going into there, so we technically don't need to really worry about that. But obviously we've got our passenger line that's going to be going out. There's no need to have a passenger line here as well. I'm just trying to smooth this out at this point as well. That looks a bit steeper than what I want, to be honest. This might be an issue. See what percentage this is. It's 5.1%. That's not too bad. We'll go with that. 5.3. It should start to level out. So say this is really going to have like a shunter service between the docks and the main station. The crucial one will be the outside connection, I think, as well. Now, do we want to have a through passing track that goes round here to the left? I'm thinking there to the right. There, obviously, the terrain keeps getting worse as we go up. So we'll snap a line here. Let's see if we can get the right one. It's actually flat here, so yeah, we'll keep it like that, and then after that it will be some insane and then what we'll do is we'll complex curve this again, so come out parallel to this line, click once, and then find that guideline to the nat strat, and then just curve it right in. It is a wonderful tool, not in Cities Skylines 1 but is in Cities Skylines 2 as well. I think obviously a lot of people have been using it to create their cities. So yeah, and then we'll go for single lines off the branch line. No, or we're going to go for a double track coming off. So then we've only got, I think we're going to go for a double track coming off, because then we've only got internal, and we'll just use complex curves to angle this in like that. Simple enough, basic enough. There's no signals you can place, unlike in Transport Fever 2. So yeah, I'd love to be able to place some signals down, and give priorities there, but yeah, we'll call this new Station Avenue. I presume this is going to be some sort of major station. Now to get this train line out, sorry, to connect to our existing line. So this line goes off to our farms that are on the other side of the river, basically, and there's a load of industry out there, and that's there. Now, it's a single track line to begin with, but I can imagine that when you've got an upgrade project to the main line, that whatever you've taken away, whatever tracks you've abandoned, the new tracks will be abandoned, upgraded to double track. Presumably we're going to have an outside connection, possibly go through here. Well, that was the plan anyway, at a later date. So we'll curve that round, and then obviously leave a little bit at the end that will then connect onto should we need a thing. Now the question is, do we want a second cargo platform? Because the problem is we'll have through traffic going through this one line. They're not connected. They're not actually connected, but I might be future proofing this by putting, and that's what we've done, is basically put another platform. So yeah, that one's going to go off. I think that line's going to go off as well at some point, and that'll probably have its own connection. I haven't just quite decided on what that's going to be doing. Obviously in the new city I've planned, I'm not even got to rail yet, but I mean, yeah, that'll be something to think about. You can see where it is down there as well, so it isn't exactly the most cleanest of lines as well, and it will be difficult with the terrain. And also we've got to think about putting our rail yard back in as well, where I'm going to put that. So this is not an easy thing to think about as well. Obviously there needs to be a bit of future proofing here, as you'd expect from a platform. Bearing in mind we've got to have some sort of elevation as well to one of the tracks if we're going to loop like this, and not instead of having our tracks feed into our thing, which we have done, because presumably our outside connection will be going into the one that's facing south towards the river, towards the water, and then the northern one will be coming out to the farm and other industry, and then they'll be able to change there. Presumably we'll have another connection or some point, but until that happens we'll connect these two up. I mean, they're not actually connected, but like this, and then we'll come out like this. And then do we want this to be the lower line? So that is something to think about. I need to think, which one do I want to thinking about? Which one do I want to prioritise? The line going out or the line going in? And I think because this is a cargo one, we'll probably want to elevate this one, because I presume that at some point we'll have a line that goes to the north between the two mountains, and that will be a sort of new cargo line. It's not new passenger line there, so that will have the there. And we've also put this in. We'll put that in there, and we'll come back to that in just a moment. So that's the plan, and then I've taken that bit out as well, and now I should then, or are we going to prioritise? This is the point. I completely forgotten what I did. I know I did something as well. It looks like we're going to keep this one at ground level, actually, the cargo line going in, and then we'll have the passenger line. I'll actually complex curve this. No, that's not going to work. We'll come out. Yeah, we don't want to encroach into that hill. Get that guideline and come in. Yes. It's a bit curvy, but I mean, you know, you're coming into that station anyway, you would be slowing down. Now we've got to think about how we get that line over the other one, which could be an issue. And then, yeah, but first we've got our we've got our rail yard. We're gonna just move this back. You can see the massive terrain distance at the end, but that does give us, when we move it back, it does give us a little bit of height as well. we're going to put a line through the freight yard, the train yard, by the looks of it. We're going to elevate that over to our, come on, give me that sight line. There we go. We need to curve into that. Now is that gonna, no, that's flattened it over. Okay, it's fine. I mean, we could move this across and line it up. That's probably what I should have done, but I didn't think about that. So we'll keep it 10 meters, go across, and then we'll establish that bridge connection, and then what we'll do is we'll use a complex curve, go straight in, but down to ground level. That's not going to work. We're going to need to slightly come. Yeah, we can do that, and then we can straight line between the two. That's fine. Yeah, something like that. That should get trains on that line. As well, it's got a bridge span. It's not the best. I probably would use some mods to help out, but remember, I've got no mods in this save, so yes. Now we just need to get a simple curve as well. Don't be like that. 6% is a bit iffy, but I seem to be happy with that. So yeah, we're going to roll with that as well. Look at that insane height. It's just, you know, even like trying to push that back, that's the mountain, you know. I mean, we have got 2 mountains in this map, but some of it should be a bit less hilly, I think, you know. Yeah, especially, well, as I say, you know, England is notorious for being one of the flattest countries. It is flat, you know. We don't, especially in the south, we don't have very many mountains in the south of England. We don't have any, I think, actually. And we've got a few hills, but yeah. Hoping that one day I will look at a custom map, but yeah, not yet. I'll try and get these in to curve in like before that. We're gonna get the. Is this gonna work? I mean, it's madness. It looks horrible, but it will work. I mean, that looks. Yeah, that looks. That's a madness. Perhaps we'll have you go down to this lower track, but then they're not connected. I mean, we would probably look to position this somewhere else on the line, and again, where we'd probably look to reposition this in the industrial part of the city, to be honest, as well. But yes, obviously, for now, that is probably functioning between our 2 cities. We just got to get a road we can get the road underneath that as well. That is going to help get we're going to need to get some power and water over here now, and all the other utilities that come with it, which are under the road already as well. But of course, all of that set up, we now got our line set up. So we'll set the one up to the farms, we'll set that one up and rename those. So that's Victoria to Victoria Dykes, that's whatever that is called, White to Underhill out there, as well. What the White Council's been moved. Now we need to set up our outside connection. We're going to do this quickly as well. We're going to take out all of that road because it should not, you know, it shouldn't be a highway as well. I didn't like that because I think we need to purchase another tile just for that corner. It's annoying, but nevertheless, we'll just get rid of this and all of that, and we'll put in a little A road you know, one lane each way, as well. We'll have a T-junction. We are going to smooth this out, sort of, and try and get this to work. I meant triangle, not T-junction, excuse me. But yeah, don't like that. I'll try and smooth this out. Okay, that should work. As now we need to sort of carve and follow the hillside, and again we might be bridging that bit as well. Again, this train line doesn't have outside connections. This map doesn't have outside connections. 1.9%. What we could do is level a bit out there, which we're going to do to create a pad. We'll then bridge that section. It doesn't want to bridge. Why is it sloping down? It's annoying when it does that. Try and create one halfway as well, which does, I think that's a bit lumpy bumpy. We're just going to live with it, I think. And then we'll slope. That's probably going to be too extreme. So we'll dig into the into the hillside, and then we'll create our road up there. Again, not too steep, and that is crucial here for trains, you know. As well, we'll smooth, as I say, I'll probably end up smoothing this out, and then, you know, we're sort of trying to fill a path where we can then make it through, and that's going to be on the flat, so the trains will be able to gather speed. As I say, when they're coming in, they're going to have to slow down as well, and then that is a bit too much carving as well. But I have actually done that at the end, you know, just smoothing it out as well. Creating at the end here was actually all flat, so we just copied the excuse me. So that, you know, this was the most challenging bit, was getting up the hill. Once we're up that top of the hill, you know, it's actually quite easy to then follow up, and there seems to be some weird dip there as well. But yes, smoothing is just smoothing this out to make it look nicer, and there's a bit of a hill there which we can probably eliminate a little bit. But yes, we're pretty much done. We just got to set up our external line now. It's going to go from here out to whatever that place is and back again. Well, we'll probably rename that place as well. So that's going to be, it's not Victoria, it's towards Bournemouth, but it's not actually Victoria. We'll rename this Bournemouth anyway, as well, because Bournemouth doesn't tend to have a lot. It's a seaside tourist resort. Now we need to get our highway, our A road, re-established towards Bournemouth as well. So, you know, we're just going to try and, you know, we will see this, you know, where excuse me, roads follow train lines, but it's not common in the UK for this to happen. You know, through the New Forest, for example, between Bournemouth and Southampton, they follow different. The main roads are completely different from one another as well. Although there is an old train line, and we'll try and come down this hill. So yeah, sort of difference there. So although they end up in the same places, the roads will take to the same place. Yeah. You see, we managed to get XP for hills. We're going to try and come around this hill actually, and not get too much in the way as well. But yes, and then we'll straight line it. As I say, it's an A road, so you know, and it's not going to have too many curves in it. You know, yes, there will be some curves, some slow areas, but especially when A roads go through like towns and cities. But you know, it's not like it's not a motorway. You know, and that's, you know, they can go up and down. You know, there's a lot less regulations in terms of A roads compared to motorways, especially the fact that you can just join from anywhere. With motorways, you've got to have proper slip roads, and that's what we're going to be building next. And it's not giving me that there, and there we go. We've connected on, and we'll rename this the A2. But now all of our train connections are up. The train is up and running. We can press play as well. Our A roads are up. Our motorway, we've got our outside connection as well. Not seeing too much activity, but now it's time to get as well. But we also need to put a passenger line, but it's time. We'll put a passenger line as well to Bournemouth as well. We'll share the same line, but yes, we do need to create, first of all, our motorway connection as well. So that's what we're going to move on to next. Now, obviously, remember I put those things. The idea is to not do what they did with the M3 junction and remove Spitfire Bridge, which is instead put this thing. We've got 6.5%. Yeah. I'm not entirely sure about that. He's a bit very lumpy there, but I'd rather just get underneath there as well. We might flatten this out a bit first as well. If we get back to motorway, see what is 5.7 as well. I met the obviously the M62 is one of the most extreme motorways in the world, and at this point yeah, look away, because this is going to be a bit ugly. Motors that roundabout should be able to handle the traffic. We are going to have more than just one. That'll be junction 1, obviously, as well. Would we have a slip road coming in as well? I haven't done that as well. It depends if we have space, but a third road coming in from our motorway, and then obviously going straight into the town. That would be ideal. But obviously we are going to have as well. This will be the M1 because it's the only motorway technically as well. And then obviously we've got Spitfire Bridge and the A2 going across the town as well. It's got a retaining wall, and you can see, yeah, it's annoying with parallel road tool that it doesn't keep the same elevation for both sections of road. So that's something that needs to improve on, definitely, as well. Although, I mean, it's probably something that can be added later on. I've gone for point, so I haven't spoken about the spacing. So spacing, as I make this curve, there we go. Let's come over here. Yeah, that is horrible. So the spacing, we have central reservations in the UK. Everyone has central reservation. Obviously, the game doesn't have central reservations and harsh shoulders. So yes, that is a problem. As well as I actually did manage to get that curve to work in the end. Now we create a little bit of a dip as we're going past Alderney. Obviously want to try and keep this keep this thing, and we're going to have then start doing a 3-lane road as well. So one of the lanes will be going off as well. This is quite common. Sometimes you'll see motorways change down to from 3 to 2 lanes as well. It's not really common at the end, mostly because they didn't get the permission to build those lanes. For example, on the M3 going towards London, it goes down to a 2-lane motorway for a stretch because they didn't get permission because of all the activists as well, preventing that not to build a lot, obviously we did lose a fantastic looking Spitfire bridge, but never in this build we've actually kept that bridge intact. Yeah, so junctions, these are going to be, some of these are going to be pretty simple as well. So for example, this junction is just going to have a four-way connection as well. I'm going to rename all the slip roads M1 as well. I don't like the fact it's got a giveaway line, so yeah, it's going to come on. That is not an ideal turn either as well. But when we come off, that is a problem, because I don't really want to come up the Spitfire bridge. So I think we're going to turn this around. It's probably going to be a pretty useless junction as well. We could have kept the 3 lanes all the way down and then have like a feeder lane going in. That might be something that is considered as part of an upgrade project, is this junction gets cut off and they extend down to Hamilton Avenue, named of course after Sir Lewis Hamilton. But yeah, and then we'll put this that way. So we've got a slip road on the A2, which you would have. Notice this isn't all free movement, so like if you want to come from the A2 into town, you don't have that off the Spitfire bridge as well. You've only got, it's a limited access junction. You know, if you're coming into town, that will be something, you know, this will be something that probably gets looked at when we have a new motorway going westwards. That will be then probably when we have a new thing, and you know, that possibly could be where the end of Broad Avenue as well comes in. But for now, it's just about reconnecting it up. We got, annoyingly, there's no division. I'd expect when you've got 4 lanes or more in the UK, there tends to be some division, like a dividing marker. We'll go backwards actually. So this isn't easy. I should have used the continuous tool actually for this, but as well, and then we'll reverse this. Use the upgrade tool to try and reverse this as well. We'll stop that so nobody can go right there, because you don't want to be going right. There we go, and that's going to bring that line there. We'll need to call that M1 as well, and we'll also need to sort out that line as well. And then we're going to put a little bit, what we should be doing for the normal one is create a little bit of a slip road by just upgrading the section beforehand as well to be 3 lanes, so giving that extra lane as well. That's going to allow traffic into town along the M1. It does mean that the access we had beforehand from the A2 to Station Road and traffic being able to turn right there didn't happen. Yeah, but for now what I have done is put this, allow traffic to moving south to come into town on this one-way road. The version that the new version hasn't really been built this far yet as well, but I don't think I'm going to be doing one-way roads at this point, basically, and keeping it to 2-lane roads as well. We do need to try and soften this out though, because it is quite hilly. I mean, I don't really know why you'd take this junction, unless you were coming down and then looking for a quick access road into town. I don't know why I've even bothered building it here. It should have been there. And then we're going to put in an extra road as well up to the traffic lights. We'll make sure to do that. It's annoying that those 3-lane roads aren't doing it. And then we need to get up this hill and up to past our new cargo facility, and that's when we're going to need to go up, because this is going to be a problem. There we go. We're at 7.5%, but we've already got it. It's not the best, to be honest. If I was continuing with this map, I'd probably redo this when I've got a bit more time as well, but I haven't, basically. I think you can see where our second junction is going to be, and again, this proves that slip road that I just did is pretty pointless, because this King George VI Avenue is going to carry on as well, and yes, we also need to, we still haven't, and then our final junction will probably be over here as well. Obviously we do need to extend this out, so we'll carry on as well, and then we're going to try and, well, I want to think about the future, because I think this is going to carry on and go eventually up, but I don't think we're going to be doing that in today's video as well. I need to I'm using the wrong tool. I need to create some sort of point so we can get as well. Let's try and slope up, try and see what this is like in terms of percentage increase, and it's 3.2%, which is actually not too bad, except the fact that I've drawn it at ground level, so it'll be even less. It'll be less than that, which is actually, which will be good. So we need to come down, and that's the wrong one, and I've made a mess of things. So we'll bump this up to 7.5, get the right side, and then come position that, and then come down to ground level, and that's going to be an even gentler slope as well. So that is pretty much the position of our motorway as well. It's now extended King George VI Avenue. We are going to be putting some different junctions in as well, so this is going to be interesting. Depends what we want, and I think we're going to go for a double roundabout junction. They do happen in the UK, but they're not really common as well. Most of the time, especially the motorway across the south coast, they are just roundabout junctions as well. We'll upgrade the sections to have 4 lanes going out, and then we'll try and remove that. It's not having this sort of nastiness in the road as well. Obviously that's the second junction. You wouldn't really see junctions. That junction is probably a little bit too close to the one that we built, the A2 junction. So yes, junctions, I think in the UK they have to be 2 miles apart, otherwise you have to have a restricted speed limit. So we probably wouldn't see this junction in real life. You would probably see a junction, this road, instead of tying in, would probably tie into the, you'd either see the A2 junction not be built, or more likely you'd see that this road gets extended to the A2, and then have that the A2 be a fully functioning junction as well. But yes, because we're in game, you know, I mean, we can build junctions as close as we like, really. You know, you'd probably taken out the A2 junction, to be fair, because it is limited access. You'd have a road from the A2 to the now I need to get this this road, our final junction, as well. I think this is going to be possibly the roundabout junction as well, and yeah, it's going to be interesting. Do we want to, where do we want to have this? Do we want to, it's going to be slightly problematic trying to get this to be there. I should have used the continuous tool to create this roundabout, but I didn't. So yes, potentially we could put it at ground level, and that's what I'm going to do here, is smooth this out, and then we'll create a bridge section for our motorway. We'll put this at ground level. That it's basically it's an oblong shape. And if I used the continuous tool, I would have got a nice oblong, but I didn't use the continuous tool. I used the simple curve tool. And yeah, to be honest, it doesn't actually look too bad. What I think in the end looks bad is where I positioned the motorway. Now, obviously, we've got a road here where we're going to be slaking into that as well. I should, in hindsight, have mirrored this, but I didn't. So yeah, definitely could have done a better job on this junction as well. But especially, you can see it's not even centre with where our motorway is, and again, we need a bit more height. So there we go. Over it. No, it's not going to work. And we'll just simple curve that in. As you can see, I would probably reposition this, but I haven't got, I spent a long time working on the train line, to be honest. Again, and then we're just going to have this. This would probably be get there, and then instead of we'll have that coming out like that, and then power is you need to get power and stuff over here because we still haven't got that there. But first, it does look a bit tight on that, but that is what happens. It doesn't like that. A better job. This motorway could have had a better job done with it, definitely, for sure. But there we go. And we will upgrade sections to have 4 lanes for slip roads. But yeah, the roundabout junction is the one that's got them. We could actually light our roundabout, but for some reason he didn't want to do it. So yeah, I did actually try and light it, but it did actually work in the end. But for some reason on this little short bits it wasn't working properly. But yes, that is pretty much it. We built a lot in this episode. We built the cargo hub, we built a new motorway, and we built a new train line as well. That will probably be it. It's not the height of realism, to be honest. The bit I'm most happy about is the cargo line, for sure. Where the motorway ends, I'm not so sure about as well. Probably look at when I rebuild this, for the next version of the city, which won't be in the next part of this series, probably be a bit more. I'm thinking a bit more realistic. We'll also have mods available to help us out, and I'll probably take a look at some some aerial photography, which I have been doing when I've been building this new version, to have a look at the areas around Southampton and Bournemouth, just to see what's there as well. But if you've got any suggestions for stuff, places that you want to see in England to be replicated, then let me know in the comments below. But yes, I hope you have enjoyed. If you have, leave a like, subscribe, channel if you're new. See plenty more Cities Skylines II videos as and when they come out. They will be coming out at some point. Probably August, probably be the next one, I'm not going to lie, because F124 is just around the corner. So until the next video, I'll see you next time. Take care, and thank you so much for watching this hour-long video. If you have watched the whole hour, then you are a legend. Until the next video, then I'll see you next time. Take care, enjoy your day, and goodbye.